Hello, everybody. Welcome in. How's it going? What is going on? We'll get started in just a little bit. Just had to reply to comments. Jump scare, yeah. Yeah, I just got a billion Instagram comments to reply to. Get started in just 1 second. I want to work on some more lured in stuff today. I was considering Starground, but like yesterday, but yeah, we're gonna not do Starground today. I still need to figure out exactly the plan is for everything, so I don't want to just start running into things and not really knowing what I'm doing. So I'm gonna figure out exactly how I want to go about the new dungeon stuff, and then we'll be working on Starground. Maybe we'll do Starground like on Wednesday or something like that. So, hey, Steven, welcome in. How's it going? I realize you put up some old art on the starting soon. Oh, did I? Which art was that? There's a bunch of art on there. I don't ever remove the art, so. I think at one point I went through all the fan art page and like grabbed most of the fan art. I think there's a couple that I missed I didn't put in there before, so that's probably why. Yeah. For my old drawings on it? Oh, yeah. They're epic. Yeah. There is so many comments. All right. Yeah, so what I want to do today, I want to add in like crab pots so that we can catch other kinds of creatures, because right now we can just do fish, but I'd love to be able to like grab like crabs and snails and all that stuff. One of the big like things people really wanted is fish that affect the rate of like grime accumulation. So it'd be cool if you could put shrimp into your tank and it would like you know, actually keep your tank clean. So we'll probably do that. Seems fishy, yeah, just a little bit. Just a wee bit. Okay. I'll reply to more later. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, let me close everything. Get it all out of the way. Where is loaded? There it is. Okay. So apparently controller stuff is a little broken. Let me go look at this. Going to here, this is the regular. Get some playtesting. So starting the game, you're unable to move the buttons down. I do have to do like, I think I'm going to do an initial check to see if you have a controller connected, and that would hopefully fix that. Then this one, that's not supposed to happen. So we got to fix that. I don't know why vibration wouldn't work. I mean, it seems to work. yeah, it's you. Crazy. Yeah, I do really appreciate all the feedback on controller stuff. Let's go ahead and run this up. So I don't know how to check if we have a controller connected, but I'm sure there's some kind of way to do it. I'll say, Yelp review, welcome in. How's it going? Ready. Well, yeah, I appreciate showing me how to do the dictionary stuff with the commands. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize. I mean, it makes sense that you can do it from a script. I just didn't think about it. Yeah, that should be pretty nice. I kind of like doing that better, almost. Okay, so let's do... I just want to check right in here. Whatever the input type is. I don't know if there's like a function for it. Like, to know if a gamepad is connected, you know? They call it a joypad? Yeah. Is joy known? I just don't know how to check that. I'm gonna look it up. This is what I want to know. Oh, get connected joypads. There we go. Yeah, there's something. All right, so we can just say if get connected joypads dot size is greater than 0, then we want to say global dot controller active is true. So now I might have to do a couple things in here. I'm gonna have another function, just set input mode. We'll do this in here. So if controller is active, set it to false. Set to keyboard. Set to controller. Okay. And then I want to say var mode. I'll just say controller bool is false or whatever. I don't know how to say the default. Okay. Then if we're attempting to set it to a controller and it's not active, then we do that stuff. Else, if controller is active. So this should let us set it to controller mode at the very beginning of the game, hopefully. So the controller would be true, and then this one is setting it back to keyboard. All right. So that's set, and then if we go back to ready, say if size is greater than 0, global dot set input mode to controller. So let's see what happens. So if I turn on my controller before we boot up the game, hopefully it will automatically work and my controller will be connected. Let's see what happens. I don't know what will happen. Yeah, it looks like that actually did work. Epic. So that should help. That should hopefully fix the issue on Steam Deck. I don't know if Steam Deck technically counts as a joypad being connected or not, but there's another thing I wanted to specifically do for Steam Deck also right now, so we're gonna do that. We can go ahead and do all the Steam stuff. I think it's about time. It seems like it's not even in here. Oh, here it is. So we can set like a app ID and stuff. That'll be nice. Let me go figure out what the app ID is. I'll just say initialize on startup and stuff. We don't have any dedicated server stuff, so it doesn't really matter. Embed callbacks. I think I want that on. We'll see. Multiplayer peer, yeah. It is technically multiplayer peer, but I'm not going to be using any of the multiplayer peer stuff. It's they bundled it, the multiplayer peer, into just the regular like Steam build now, so it's actually kind of a good thing. Yeah, you can open the overlay now. So now I should be able to use all the Steam functions. I do need to check if Steam is actually initialized already. I can say, I think, get Steam initialize result. Yeah, and that's actually epic. I wish I knew about that. So I'm gonna have a new variable for Steam ready. And I don't know if I have to await Steam getting ready or not. I don't really know. Like, if we go look at the initialize function. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Ooh, H, I. Initiate authentication. That's not it, though. This might not be alphabetical. Well, it's probably fine. Then this is going to return a dictionary. So let's go ahead and just print that so we can see what it says. But it should show like there should be a code attached to it, like 0 or something. Let's see. Yeah, it says status 0, I believe, is success. So Steam ready is .status is equal to 0. So we'll try that. So now I can check more stuff. So if that, then I can check if Steam is running on Steam Deck. Then we can say global.set input mode to controller, like that. Hopefully that'll work. Something I might also possibly do is, if we are running on Steam Deck, actually don't allow the other input mode to ever be active, right? So we'll do that. And I believe that this function does not require Steam to be ready. Like, this function is just a part of the API. It's not like I don't have to do like a networking request. So even if you're offline, I think I can call this at any point in time. I don't have to like, Steam doesn't have to like necessarily initialize for it to work. So anyways, that should now know when we're on Steam Deck, and then if we are in Steam Deck, it'll force controller mode. Hopefully. We'll see what actually happens, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, so we'll do that. I'll have to put up another update so I can test on Steam Deck, and then also so you guys can. But I think that should be the main thing. And I don't know if there's really any other major controller issues. Oh yeah, this issue, let's fix that. So I believe what's happening is if you're hovered over a tank and then you go into the bar to press on something, it does both. That should be a really easy fix. Yeah, so let's fix that. So we want to go into the aquarium cursor and then just make sure that the hotbar is not active. And that should basically be it. Because inside of aquarium, I believe that there's a stat in here. Yeah, buttons disabled. So aquarium cursor, we'll just say in here, if any of this stuff, this new object would be null. Add a tank. Yeah. Or we say owner dot buttons active or something. Buttons disabled. So if we try this now on controller, so we can select stuff, but then the second that we start doing our stuff down here, it should stop working. Seems that it did not work though. Figure out why. Oh, did I do that in tank cursor? Maybe. No, it should be if buttons disabled. Let's figure it out. So if that and that or that, I think maybe I need to do this. Try this again. Nope. Let's figure out why it doesn't work. So, I mean, this is handling all the held stuff. And it shouldn't let me click over here. Do I have another return statement in here? Oh, it's just the one. Or if owner.buttons disabled. Oh, I need to do the opposite, I think, if it's not disabled. Right? Okay. Oh, buttons disabled is not the right thing. The thing I actually want is whether focus is allowed. Buttons focus allowed. That's the real one. This should work. Yes, I need to inverse that, and then I think we should be good. And I need to make sure that it doesn't care about that if we're not in controller mode. Oh yeah, also sorry, Oshik, didn't see you. But welcome in. So if controller active, yeah. And then this should be true on that. Okay, now one thing though is it doesn't like get rid of our last object. So I think what I might do is this. I might go ahead and just reset our last object or a function for it. I'll just say reset object. Then we can say if object and do all that stuff. Because we do it in here, right? That's setting the new object. Oh, this is actually doing the previous thing. So we can say reset object now. So if it's a fish tank, selection box, blah, 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 the object becomes null. So let's test this out. So is there anywhere else where I say if object? So that's if we do select it right there, the pointing hand. Object is fish tank. That's all the clicking stuff. Yeah, so we should be good now. Let's make sure it works. Yeah, seems good. And then if I'm in controller mode, now when I go into the hotbar to do stuff, it disables the selection on the cursor, which is good. I think we should be good now. I don't know why sometimes hovering over stuff can get a little laggy. I mean, it doesn't seem laggy anymore. I don't know, a little weird. But yeah, also we fixed the issue where it wasn't taking your fish before. So that's actually something that needs to be fixed because that takes priority for some reason. The button. Hey, thank you for the cheese time, Dimitri. Much appreciated. I think it's because what I'm doing is on cursor, I'm emulating the position of the mouse right here. Somewhere. The update cursor. It's not that one. Fan on. It's like 70 degrees today. Okay, that's not that. So where do I check that? I know I have somewhere where I'm updating the mouse position, I thought. It's like dot input or something. You know, push input. Yeah, oh, it's in the camera. Okay, okay. So that's going to be pushing input. I don't really want it to do that if our stuff isn't active. So what I'm going to say is if global dot aquarium dot button focus allowed, then I want to push a new input that's like nowhere, right? So we're just going to get the mouse and then position. I'm actually just going to say vector2.0. So that should now make that go away. Let's try it. So we're good. It'll select, and then as soon as I do the toolbar, you can see it stops selecting the button. So we should be good there now. So I can go into here, check my fish, and then do that one. Let's make sure he is taking fish. He should take 4 sockeyes. We have 1,246, so we should have 1,242 if we accept the deal. Yep, so we're good on that. Okay. I think we're doing alright. Also, a new fish, by the way, guys. I don't know if you guys saw this. Axolotls. Corridoras. The Devil's Hole pupfish. And then beta fish. Ignore that they say stonefish. I need to, you know, update all their names. Alright. So yeah, I think that should fix a lot of the controller issues. At least the ones that have been identified so far. So now it's not going to have weird double inputs. And then everything should be totally normal on regular keyboard and mouse. I think. I have to wait for the chef to get called in. Let's go ahead and restart and embed. Just want to make sure that the button pressing and stuff over there is fine too. Should be fine. It's that other camera stuff pushing the input should only do that on controller anyways. Oh. Wait for the chef to show up. There he is. Okay. So yeah, everything seems fine. I can open my inventory, do everything. I still do need to fix where I can do this, right? Where if I like click a button and the tank is behind it or something, it'll open both like that. So that's another bug. I would like to fix that. I wonder how I can do that, because I need to basically know, I guess, when a button has been hovered. And I wonder how I would do that. I mean, I could just have a bunch of signals set up on all of these buttons to check if mouse is entered or exited, and that would kind of do it. But it is a lot. I don't have any reference to these buttons, do I? I do. Well, you know what that means then. Since I already have all those set up, it'll be easy. So I'm just gonna say for I and bar buttons. I don't have to worry about that in the other place because there's in the region. I.mouse entered. .connect. And I need to just connect this to a function that sets a variable. I'll just call it var buttons hovered. So when mouse entered, buttons hovered is true. And then also on that same one, whenever mouse is exited, we'll set buttons hovered to false. And I guess I'll do, I don't know if order matters, but we'll do exited before entered. I don't think it really matters. Okay, so if we go back into this now, whenever we... Oh, I expect. Whenever we hover over a button, that variable should become true now. We'll see what actually happens. And then, again, we can go into the cursor and add on to our statement here. So if that... and that menu is not open, or that, or global controller is not active, and aquarium dot buttons hovered. All right. So I can select these guys normal, but then if I am over this and a button, boom, you can see it doesn't select the tank anymore, which is epic. So you won't get that issue happening anymore, hopefully. I do need to make sure it all works, like if I swap to controller spontaneously or something, right? Like this seems totally fine. I can still go into here, do this stuff. And then if I swap back to keyboard, looks like we're still good and I can select everything. So I think we should be good to go now. Let's mark down those two fixes. I need to delete the last change log now. Fix an issue where the chef didn't actually take your fish in a trade. An issue where you could select a tank or customer behind a button while clicking on it. Fix an issue where controller input was not automatically registered beginning of the game. Fix an issue where you could select something in the aquarium and press a tool bar button simultaneously on controller. I think that's most of the things. Is there anything else? I think that's it. All right. Oops. Now he takes your fish away for real. The The button stuff should be pretty good. You should always take priority. All right. So yeah, I'm hoping that this will work much better on Steam Deck now. I guess I can also mention all that new Steam stuff. That Steam integration, right? Made it so controller mode is forced on Steam Deck. All right. Cool. One thing I would like to do eventually is make these checkbox buttons the same as the regular animated buttons, because right now they don't do that. Like they don't animate like these other ones do. Ugh. Maybe we'll do that. What's a crab trap do? It catches crabs. It's crazy, yeah. I did add the research in here. But basically it's going to be a way to catch creatures as an alternative to fishing. So the way it's going to work, I commented at the button for the last update, but there's this button in here that you can press to drop a crab pot. I just call it a pot because it's not exclusively catching crabs, so it seems odd to call it a crab pot. But I'm gonna make it so you can click the button, it'll like throw out a pot and it splashes into the water, and then it has like a it's a pretty late game thing, or that's kind of a temporary cost, by the way. I'll probably make it cheaper. It's not even real. I just like put a label down and wrote something in. We'll probably do like 10,000 or something. But yeah, essentially you can drop the pot down and then come back later to it, like after an hour or something of time passed, and then bring it back up and catch a bunch of crabs and stuff. That's how it's gonna work. Essentially, it's almost like passive fishing. So. But it'll be nice. It'll kind of let us catch a lot more things. There's fish that don't really make sense to catch with a fishing rod, you know? Like, you wouldn't really catch a shrimp using a fishing rod. It's just not a thing. So that's kind of what the crab pot is for. It's like it's for catching the bottom dwellers, you know, things that walk. Stuff like shrimp and crabs and worms and snails and slugs and all those things. You know, like there's in Stardew Valley, it's got the same thing. Actually, these crab pots, right? And you can catch a bunch of stuff with these. What fish can you catch? This is all the garbage you can catch. Saltwater, lobster, clam, crab, you know, mussel, shrimp, oyster. All these different things. Snails, periwinkle, crayfish, all those things. So yeah, I think it'll be nice. It just opens up a whole new kind of avenue of creatures, right? I think it'll be really fun to have little crabs walking around and stuff. Hey Ryan, welcome in. How's it going? They have them in OSRS. OSRS. What is OSRS? Trying to think of the acronym. Oh, what is going on here? Oh. I can't seem to do anything on controller. Oh, it's probably because I didn't set up the focus neighbors properly on this button. That's my guess. Because this one now has to be the drop button. And then the drop button is to... Oops. The return button And the left of the drop button is to be that one. The left of return is that one. And I think I also have to add it into here. So I do. All right, let's try this again. Oh, old school RuneScape. Okay, okay. Yeah. I played a little bit of RuneScape before. It was pretty neat. But it is probably the most grindy game I've ever seen in my life, so you know. It seems cool though. I would like to get into it more, but it's just like so time consuming. I don't know. Wild. One thing I kind of don't like about it is they have a very strong push toward the like premium pack or whatever. There's like RuneScape Gold or something or whatever it's called, which kind of sucks because basically they just make the game take forever to do anything, and then are like, hey, the game won't take forever if you pay us a bunch of money. All right. That's kind of a bruh moment. I get that they are a MMO, so they have to get continual profit, but still a little bit annoying. Anyways, so that should all be working. So yeah, we need to make the pot actually do something now. Yeah, I want to make it so if you get like a little shrimp in your tank or something, it'll prevent the buildup of algae. Could just be a little nice side ability. I would like some fish like that. Maybe a fish that by itself isn't necessarily very good, but like they're like a helper fish, right? Like you can drop a shrimp into your tank and then he eats up the algae. Same with like the snail, and I want to do like a bristlenose plecostomus and stuff. It'd be fun. Yeah, I'd like to do one of these guys. Let me look them up. These guys. The bristlenose plecos. I used to have one of these guys in my own tank a little while ago. They're pretty epic. They go around and they suck on the walls and eat up all the algae. So, yeah. They're pretty epic. Yeah, I don't even know. I guess they're probably related to like catfish or something, I guess. They still got the same tendrils, I would assume. Maybe not. They're called bristlenose catfish. We even catch them, yeah. Apparently, freshwater in South America and Panama. So there you go. They can get kind of big. It depends on the variant. I've seen some pretty big ones. Mine wasn't enormous. He was about like this big. But yeah, there's like crazy ones. Like they have, it's insane how much variation there is in like aquarium fish and stuff. Like this guy has crazy fins. I was just like looking around at different fish, and it's crazy. Like if we look at beta fish, because I just added that into the game, there's like a billion different variations of beta fish. There's like these guys with like a specific pattern. There's the Delta, Half Moon, Koi, Milano. Those are just some of them. And not to mention that they basically come in every single color known to man, which is insane. Like there's some really wild looking beta fish. I feel like kind of blue, red beta fish are pretty common. I see those a lot, but there's literally any color you want. I've seen white beta fish, black ones, red ones, pink, you know, you name it. Any color you want. I don't know if I've seen a green one before. but I bet they exist. Let me look it up. Yeah. And there's a lot of different kinds. Like, the female beta fish don't look as interesting. They don't have, like, the flowy fins. That's what they look like. It's perhaps a mating trait. To look flashy and interesting. This guy looks crazy. Yeah, it's just insane how much variation there is. Like, a lot of fish are very consistent. Like, you look at something like a rainbow trout. Like, they're all practically the exact same, right? Like, yeah, there's a size variation, but they all have the same pattern. There's a pink stripe down the middle, green on top, kind of silvery white belly, right? And every single rainbow trout looks like that. But aquarium fish, we've gone insane. We've made so many variations. It's wild. It's kind of like what we do to dogs. Or we're like, we want a brown one and a white one and a black one, and just make all these different colors. It's pretty wild that we do that. We're just like, yeah, we're gonna take this guy that's normally one color and make him many different colors now. Grandma's a big into fish and she had some bigger plecos. Yeah, tank size definitely matters a lot, just food availability and stuff. There's a lot of factors that go into it, really. But yeah, they're pretty cool though. I've never had shrimp or snails in my tank before, but apparently they're also pretty good at dealing with algae, so... Oh, there is a rainbow trout in Stardew Valley. Pretty epic. Anyways. And also, axolotls have a lot of color variations too. Axolotl is not spelled how you would think it is. But I also have to do all the color variations on these guys too. There's like the classic like white guy with red, but then there's also like insane ones. There's like black ones and orange ones, pink ones and white ones. Oh, it's just crazy. So I have to do all those variations. I guess that's why they added all the variations in Minecraft. All these guys. It's like the normal white guy. I think this is like the most common color as far as I can tell. But yeah, I've seen the black ones around and the orange ones. But it's pretty insane. It does kind of require a lot of extra work, you know, just 'cause how many there are. I wonder how I'm gonna handle that coloring system. I might actually do like possibly sort of how we do with the decorations, where if you click on a fish, it opens a little panel and you can like select their skin, right? So maybe some of these fish, I create multiple variations and we can add it onto the items table, just so that you can select like which color you want to be displayed, you know? I might do something like that. The only thing is I'd have to change a little bit on how fish are formatted and saved in the tank. So I'd have to do that. But it should be possible. Yeah, I'll have to do it though. And then eventually that'd let us like name fish and stuff too, which would be cool. This is AI slot. Okay. Because right now the way fish are stored is they're just a string ID. If I wanted to make them more advanced, I'd have to save them as a dictionary and save both her ID, but then also other attributes about them, you know. Do you have all the skins unlocked right away, or maybe they're unlock conditions like catching the specific variant first? That would be a cool way to go about it. Like if you want to set it to that color, you have to find it first. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I want stuff like that to probably be like things that you can unlock, because I just think it's more fun that way. So I could see doing that for sure. And then we could also tie it into Steam achievements and stuff like that, which would be nice. So That's probably what we'll do. I'll have to set up some code to run a conversion on the old format of fish in your tanks. And just convert them over into dictionaries instead so I can store more information. So we'll work on that. It's gonna take a little bit more work, but I never realized that this guy was an axolotl. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Fascinating. Yeah, I would like to do it though. Luckily, since I'm not animating any of these fish manually, it means that creating skin variations are actually extremely easy, right? I don't have to spend a lot of time because all I do is just recolor and then it's done and they're reskinned. I don't have to do any animations, so. Yeah, I've also seen these like albino. I guess a lot of these are albino. The melanoid axolotl. This guy's pretty albino. He's like pure white. It would be nice to have a place to check what fish you can catch where, at least have them hidden until catch. Yeah, I want to do that for sure. I want some kind of like book or encyclopedia for all the fish. I want a place where you can like view all of your progress on things. Like have a big encyclopedia of all the different fish you can catch. And then also just stuff like, I don't know, any other little stats and achievements, you know, that you can unlock, put in there. I just wonder where I would put that button, because unfortunately the buttons down here are starting to get quite dense. I don't think I have any more space to add more of them, right? So I need to probably group these tabs together somehow. It is possible I could do like the research and ascension and merge them into one menu, right? Because I could just add like a tab bar like I do inside of the shop, like this. And do that for research and ascension maybe. But I don't want it to look like ascension's like hard to find or like it's like confusing where ascension actually is. So I'm not sure. Unless I just made this whole bar 2 buttons tall, you know? I guess that is one option. I don't want to add like way too many buttons, but maybe that would make the most sense. I mean, it's a pretty normal thing in idle games, so I don't think it's a major issue. But I'll have to think about it. I could add a little button on the side or something here, like a little book icon, and that would be fine, but it might be a little weird navigating over to that button on controller. We'll have to see. I don't know. Yeah, if anyone has ideas on how we would do that, definitely let me know. I don't think there's going to be a lot more buttons that we end up adding, but yeah. I mean, I've seen plenty of other idle games do that same thing, so it's not like it's a bad thing. There's that one idle game about the leaf blowing one. Leaf Blower Revolution. And this one does that menu like that, where like you just have a billion buttons at the bottom, like this. And they go a little overboard in my opinion. They have way too many buttons. But this is an option for doing all these menus. Is like just throwing more down, right? See, I'll have to see. Yeah, this game's alright. What was this one? Another taskbar one. I kind of don't like the taskbar games like this because I find it's just annoying. I'd prefer my game personally to just be a full screen window, or at least just have really good scaling options so you can like change the window size and stuff really easily. I mean, these taskbar games it's a cool concept, but I don't know. It just seems like kind of gimmicky, in my opinion. Like Rusty's Retirement does the same thing. But I don't want something to take up half my window. Like, I think it would be really hard to, like, do stuff if I don't have this whole section down here at the bottom of my screen. So, I don't know. You could do what they did and just use the icons for the buttons and use tooltips. That's definitely true. That is an option, yeah. Just like so when you hover over the button, it shows up a little label appears that says the name of what the button does. I mean, we've already got icons added, so it definitely could be a possibility. Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And then I could sprinkle in a couple more buttons in here pretty easily without building up too much, and we wouldn't have to bother doing like a double thickness bar. I don't really want to do the double thickness. Oh, what? Did I not get a YouTube message over here? Streamer bot. Oh, why is it only connected to one channel? God dang it. This whole time I wasn't getting YouTube chats, huh? I am so tired of stupid chat stuff. They make it so freaking annoying to do the chats on YouTube. Ugh. I completely missed a comment. Number 41280, are you still in the stream? My apologies for Alright. I freaking semi-hate streamer bot. It's a necessary evil, but it seems like it breaks all the time. What just happened? Okay, we're fine. Yeah, we could definitely just do the tooltip vibe. I could even make these icons a little larger then. Or the buttons just bigger, and that might be a little more accessible on Steam Deck. We'll see. Kind of like this size up here, like more of a larger square. I don't know if they'd necessarily be a square, but yeah. Because I already have a system for doing tooltips. If you look at like locked upgrades and stuff like that, it shows, I don't know if I have any in here, but it, I already have a little tooltip thing that can appear, so it's actually really easy to do it. Right now, though, the tooltip thing is linked to the mouse, so it should be really easy, but I can just add another variable onto the tooltip thing to like manually define a location. That's funny how the weight increased in here to 7 out of 5. But yeah. Also want to spend some time working on more customer variations too. Because right now they all just wear shorts, or jeans, I mean. I'd like to do a color swap shader on their pants and then also have like randomized between shorts and pants, you know? I think that'd be pretty nice. Sorry, guy. And eventually we'll keep adding more. All of these things I'm adding to the customers will also be available for your character customization eventually, so like, it's not really wasted time. Because your character uses the exact same like setup and scene as the customers do. It's just a little bit different because they have like kinematic arms. But I think inside of the place in here, they probably won't have kinematic arms. We'll have to see what I end up doing for that. But yeah. Ooh. I'm tired. I got no sleep. Yeah, I was up all night trying to get TikTok working. I hate TikTok. It's terrible. But for some reason I kept getting like shadow banned on TikTok when I would put up a short. And I finally figured it out. But basically, like, I guess I just didn't mark the short is being promotional properly. I had to like, I sent in a ticket and stuff and all this stuff, and they didn't help at all. They were just like, maybe you should like make a better short. Like maybe do a make sure you don't do GIFs and do videos. And I'm like, okay. Thanks for nothing. Because obviously I'm already doing much more than that with all the other videos, so it's like, but yeah, I figured it out. It's really dumb. I don't know why they couldn't have just said that, like, make sure you mark it as promotional content. It seems like that might be the reason why it's not going on the For You page. Whatever. TikTok is a terrible platform. Just like going on there for like 1 minute, just checking a couple of videos, I was like, oh my god, this is absolute slop. It's kind of gross. But Instagram has been doing really good. Doing crazy good, actually. This one short or reel on Instagram has done so well. It's gotten 34,000 views. It's pretty wild. So the shorts are going good. And YouTube, the shorts don't do super great, but I mean, no reason not to put them up on there. Yeah, there's so many comments. It's not me like complaining about my lobster and steak being too juicy, but you know, it's just something that I've never really had to do before, like actually reply to a lot of stuff. But you can see there's quite a few of them, which is epic. Again, not complaining. But yeah, I need to do that more tonight. Oh yeah, water changes, possibly. A lot of people have been asking if the game's going to be on mobile. So, I don't know. I'm definitely considering it. I just don't know how the process is of building a mobile game from Godot. I know it's possible. Godot even has the export templates built in, right? If you just go to export, you can add it really easily. So like, boom, iOS and Android, done, right? But Android is nothing. Android is super easy, but iOS, this is a little annoying because I need an App Store team ID, and I'm gonna need to do a bunch of code signing and a bundle identifier and all these other things, right? They make it such a pain to create programs on iOS and Apple devices, including Mac OS. That's why I haven't done a Mac OS version of Starground, because it's such a pain. But I'd like to look into it. I do think this game would do very well on mobile. I could see just like $1, no in-app purchases, just an actually good mobile game that isn't slop. That would be pretty nice. Because I'm so tired of all the mobile games. They suck. So got so many different types of clothing. Yeah, there's like we could do a billion different things, really. Like no limit. But yeah, maybe mobile. I'll have to see. It just really depends. I mean, I do think it would be neat, but I just don't know how complicated the process is. And it does mean that I'm going to have to work on mobile and touchscreen support. So, you know, it's doable, but it might be a little annoying. I have to make sure that I don't want to export different versions of the game. So, like, I guess I'm just going to check the scaling of the game window. And if it gets, like, tiny like this, I'm going to have to, like, reformat the UI. Or, like, I could do, like, I could increase the UI scale. It's, like, something I can do. But I need to change a lot of these menus then to be like vertical format instead of horizontal, kind of how they are now. So it's going to be a little bit of work if I do end up doing that. But I do think it probably would be worth it. I don't know how many people actually buy apps on the Android and iOS store. It's hard to say. I would make the app free, but I really don't want to do in-app purchases. That just seems so low. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. We have talked about this before in another stream. Like, I know there's other games that do like you essentially get like a demo and then it prompts you with a paywall to continue playing. But I don't know if I want to even do that either. I don't know, it's really hard to say. I'll have to think about it. But a mobile launch would be cool. I'm not sure if Graham's done mobile stuff before. I don't even know. I'll have to ask him and see. But yeah. Oh, anyways. Idea for mobile as well. Really like it if I could play on mobile, then hop on my PC and pick the same save. Yeah, so that's one thing that's really hard. It would be really epic, but the problem with that is I can't really integrate that in with Steam. So I don't know if there's really an easy way for me to do that. I could do it if I like bought servers and then hosted people's saves on the server. But that's like, that's a lot of money. You know? I don't really like the idea of having to pay money on servers. The only reason games like Bloons and stuff are able to do that is because there's servers, so that'd be the only reason I got it on mobile. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I definitely wouldn't be playing a game like this on mobile if it had a Steam alternative, right? But yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's an enormous deal breaker not having the save transfer stuff. It is really cool and it would be awesome, but it just seems like it would be a lot of work, because then also it would require you to go online because you have to like load your cloud save or whatever, right? I guess we just end up doing our own cloud saving solution, but it's complicated and costs a lot of money, and that doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't want to spend money. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if... I'll have to see if Graham does have any feedback on stuff about that, because, like, maybe. As far as I know, I do not think he's done anything on mobile. So it'd probably be a first. But definitely would work for mobile. I mean, this is definitely... Idle games just work inherently well for mobile, right? Because you can just close out of the app and come back later. Oh, almost every game on mobile is an idle game in some form, right? It's just an extremely widespread genre. So it would absolutely make sense. It's just a question of like, is it worth the effort? Probably is. I have seen some people like just analytics of games they've pushed on mobile and stuff, and they seem to do really well. I mean, I think I saw one person, like, they made 80K on Steam and then another 50K on mobile. So that's like, it's a lot of money. I mean, I guess I would do it if it meant that I would make $50,000. So we'll have to see. I just don't know, like, if... Do I make the game free and then do in-app purchases? But that, I hate in-app purchases, though. But if I just make it completely free, then I'm not gaining anything by putting it on mobile, right? Other than maybe potentially driving Steam sales. But I don't know. I'd only do it if mobile was actually, in and of itself, a source of income, I think. Also, we have an ad starting soon. My apologies. The easiest way to make money from the App Store would just be make the game cost money instead of in-app purchases. Because in-app purchases suck. I don't want to do those. And then also that means I have to like set up like API stuff with Apple to like in order to do the in-app purchases and stuff, and that just seems not fun. Seems like a bad time. Yeah, I'll probably just do a flat fee to play the game. I think $1 would be okay. Like, I don't think people would spend $2 on an app, but like if I saw a neat little fishing game for only $1, I'd probably do it. 99 cents. I don't even know if you can go below 99 cents. I have no idea. Oh, anyways. Yeah, just throwing out a billion different ideas. Let me go add this in here. I want to do Cyclopedia plus statistics page. Just like the info page or whatever. Add a button for that. Then later on, I think I'd like other buttons, like we talked about doing like a fish breeding thing. It'd be kind of cool. All right, so I guess let's get these pots working. I'd like to do that. That is why I'm here, after all. And this scene is so laggy. I don't know why it's so big. I don't know if it's just because we have all these tile sets or something. I might go ahead and make it so that these tile sets are different scenes finally. Because I think it's starting to get to the point a little bit where it is too slow. So, might be about time, possibly. And like, for like all this other stuff. Rain splash. I know I have an audio player for like the river. Is it inside of here? No. So that must be like an ambience thing. Because I have ambience and then region ambience. Okay, so it must be in there. Yeah, I might save all these tile sets as separate scenes and then load them back in on load time. Like when you join into the place instead of just having them here by default. Because it says that the scene is 500 kilobytes, which apparently is really big or something. I don't know why it's so big though. Like I know there are some textures in here that are stored, like in the clouds, it's like 2000 pixels. So maybe that's part of the reason. But I don't know if those actually take up file space though. So you can see I changed the size and it doesn't really seem to do anything. I don't think it's that necessarily. I'm not sure what is so big in here. I mean, the player? Something too crazy on that. Is it all the canvas stuff? Do I have like a bunch of shaders or something like saved that I set to local? Maybe. I don't really know. The only thing I can think of is that it's one of these region scenes, but I got no idea, guys. Well, do I want to do that right now? I guess it's fine. I'm going to save all these as scenes. Just call it a region pond. Save as region lake. I'm curious to see if this does help at all. Region ocean. That did actually seem to fix it. So I think it might just be because there's a lot of tile data here, I guess. Okay. Interesting. So now I need another thing for loading these in, I suppose. I guess that's what I'll do. Because I want to make it so that regions are moddable. So yeah, what we could do is inside of the regions table, we just have another like thing assigned to each one, just called like scene, right? Region pond. then region lake, region river, and the ocean, which I don't really have implemented yet, but soon. Okay. So now, inside of fishing region, we can just go ahead and delete all these and only spawn in the one that we actually need at any given moment, which should be maybe a little bit better for performance anyways. So on ready on this place, we get region data. Then we're just going to go ahead and say add child region data dot scene dot instantiate, and then I actually want to say tiles dot add child region. Let's try it out. I don't know if I even need this node now called tiles. Do I even mention anything in here? I say get node region name visible is true. Oh, I don't even need to do that anymore either. Yeah, I don't need to do any of this. Is there anything else I do in tiles? No, there's nothing else. I'm just going to delete the tiles node. Probably. It doesn't really have any fancy ordering, so... yeah. Might have to reorder some stuff in here, potentially, like the player, I think. Maybe. I'll just make sure that these regions are pretty low in depth. Because these are already set to like -100. I don't know the depth on these, so I think it'll be okay. And then let's make all these visible again. And they do have Y-sort enabled. This one also has Y-sort. Did the lake have Y-sort? Yeah. A pond, and then a river. Hopefully this doesn't like cause a big lag spike, but I feel like this should actually end up being technically faster to load then. Because now instead of having to load everything else, it should just only have to load in the one place you're going to. Oh. Interesting. I don't know why it looks like that. I mean, cameras is centered around there. Do I have like a duplicate camera or something? It might just be because of how this scene is positioned. Like what happens if I add it in here? When I just drop it in here, it seems fine. I don't know why it's so weird. It's like the camera's not being applied. It's a little odd to me. Camera 2D. Maybe it's like a weird ordering thing? Let's try it again. I mean, I'm not setting any position on these nodes. They don't have a pre-existing position, do they? No. So what's going on here? The camera is just not valid. A little odd. Yeah, it's just not using the camera. Maybe I need to manually set it to be active or something. Let's say whatever it is. That is the function call for it. Maker mode, make current. Let's try that, I guess. I don't know why the camera hasn't been used, guys. A little weird. Unless there's another camera somewhere, but I really don't think there is. Try again. What? What's going on? Am I doing something weird to the camera in here? No. This is so weird. I'm gonna figure out why this is happening. I mean, maybe I just do need to add it into the tiles node. I don't know why, but child region. This is really weird. Never had this camera issue before. I don't know why it's doing this. What is going on? I have a camera, yes? But it's just not active. What? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. What? Where did all my other nodes go? Oh. This is extremely strange. I don't get it. How did my other nodes just disappear? Ugh. Maybe it's changing its scene somehow to, What? Okay, I'm not even spawning it in anymore. Okay, I must have some code set up on change region or something. Let's go look at that. Oh. I do change it to scene. Very interesting. So I guess what happened is that it's at a regions table. There's regions. Did I have another scene? No. Oh, the default scene was fishing region, so it just went to that. I'm understanding now. So I need to change this away from being scene and just call it like a world or something. That's fine. Okay. I thought I was going crazy. Turns out I was. I can get rid of all that. We should be good to go on this now. And we shouldn't need to do tiles anymore. Okay. Little mishap. Should be okay. Let's try this again. Ooh. So now when I travel, boom. Yeah, everything's normal. I'm happy. Okay. We're good. Minor error. Probably increase the drop or the pot cost depending on the region you're in, I presume. And we'll need to add in some upgrades for your pots as well. I want to do stuff like the time it takes until the pot is ready, or like how long you can leave it out for and stuff. Oh. want to make sure everything here is normal. It should be, but gotta make sure. Okay, seems fine. On mobile, it's gonna be wacky because your aspect ratio is gonna be like this. So you're gonna see like stuff you're not supposed to. But what I might do for that is just zoom in on the camera a little bit like that. And I think it'd be fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. I might even do like a larger zoom in and then just offset the camera over to the left like that. Right? And that would probably work. Just that we don't get this. Yeah. Making it sound like I am definitely doing mobile. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Maybe. Okay, so now I need to do some more like pot stuff, so I'll not do it there. Let's go over to process and stuff. Yeah, I think I have a way. Ooh, man. What's the tooltip thing? There's mouse tooltip. Okay, I literally just set text. And then how do I like... I guess what it must be doing is resetting its text back to empty every frame, is my guess. Inside of the mouse tooltip. Yep, okay. So that's pretty easy then. I'm just gonna say while I'm hovered over the button. So let's go over to that button now. Going to fishing region, or new and improved, fast fishing region. Hopefully it stops throwing errors. Oh, we're already here, okay. So the drop button, I'm gonna rename this to the pot button. Dot mouse entered. Dot connect. And pot hovered is true. I might possibly just put all the code in that button instead. You know? I think I might do that. I'll just say function ready. Then connect up all this stuff. The scene is still kind of laggy, isn't it? I'm not sure why. I mean, it must just be the shader, I guess. I don't know. It's false. All right. And now we say mouse exited. Odd hovered is false. Oh. Okay. Now in process we can calculate everything. So if get research level li research pots is greater than 0, we know it's not locked. Otherwise, say global dot mouse tooltip dot text is equal to. And we also have to say disabled is true. Otherwise, here disabled is false. if pot hovered. And I'm just going to copy one of these. Might even make this a function possibly and just say require research or something instead of having to write it out manually every time. But we'll see. Let's see, global.research table, what you get. Okay. So, if I don't have it, it's going to tell me. So it doesn't matter where we go. Yeah, now it'll say requires research pots. All right. And then if we're also in the lock state, I want to set the text to pots and also set the icon to do that. I'm probably going to change this code here because it's really inefficient. But it's fine for now. Yeah, it requires research pots. And I've kept all the things like that that are locked visible. And there's a couple reasons I've been doing that. The first thing is I don't want to have to, like, it's nice to see the final look of how the UI is going to be laid out, even if things are locked. I don't have to have like multiple different versions of it. Also, I think it's good for the player because then they get to see like, oh, this is a thing that I will eventually get if I keep playing. So it's not just like all of a sudden, oh, this thing is like here now. I didn't realize. It's like from the very beginning, you see it, it's locked. It's like, okay, I have a mission. I'm going to go figure out how to get that, you know? So I think that's a good thing. Let's also make the label invisible. Let's do visible is false. And otherwise, if it's not locked, we inverse everything. And I'm going to change this code from the preloading every single frame. Don't worry. The text is going to be dropped pot. And then I want each region to have a cost of how much the crab pots cost. But I think it's probably always going to be something like 10 times the cost of traveling there, right? The travel cost is really meant to be sort of like a cheaper cost, right? Like, it's not really that expensive to travel to places once you're making enough money for it to be worth it. So I want the crab pots to be like a lot of money because it is passive fishing and it should be an investment, right? But yeah. Let's do, yeah, probably just 10 times the amount of the region cost. But in the case of like the pond, I'll set a minimum. I don't think I'm going to start the pond off being 10,000. That's just a little ridiculous, so would most definitely not do that. Oh man, I'm really tired. I thought I was fine this morning. I mean, I was exhausted as usual, but I was able to get up and out of bed. Now it's really hitting me. Okay. Okay. So when drop pot is visible, we can check whether the pot has been dropped. In that, I think we're gonna have to now have another thing that gets saved in your game data now, which is fine. So in tank settings, we're gonna have our pot config or something, or pot. There's gotta be a better way, with a better name than settings. Like, it's not attributes, it's not really settings. I guess it's data. Pots data. Then I think what I'm going to do is assign this a string for the region, and then a dictionary for the data. Because there's only going to be one pot per region. So maybe one day I decide to change that, but I think it would be stupid to be able to just put multiple pots in. I'd rather have people focus on upgrading the pots instead. So. Alright. I'll call it pot data. And then let's go do save game data. Add it in here. I should have just done that also for tank settings, just call it tank data, but then probably just lump fish data into tank data, but that's fine. It'll be okay. Then we're going to load in those settings. And there we go. So now we can do this. It's pretty easy. Alright. So whenever we hit that button now, we're going to drop in a pot. So and that's what we'll set to dropped on ready. So dropped will be equal to global.pot data at index owner dot, let's say global dot region data. Don't have an ID with this. Oh, I have like a current ID. Current region ID. Dot get active. Okay. Now I'll change this to active also, just to be consistent. So I guess now what I'm going to do is on ready, go ahead and loop through all these and add the region IDs. So let's do that. Do that with a billion other things anyways. Right in here. Actually, I already looped through all the region IDs somewhere, don't I? No, I don't. Oops. Then I say pot data. If it doesn't already have region ID, because if I like loaded my user data, then go ahead and add it. Just set it to an empty dictionary. Alright. Pretty easy. So back to the pot button. We're definitely getting there. So if we have it unlocked and all this business, we'll just have a signal connected up. For drop pressed. So when we drop the pot, this is an animated button, yeah. Oh, which means that I also need to call super here, I believe. We're gonna say global pot data at index current region ID dot active is equal to true. And then I think I might also have another thing for that global dot hot status changed. Dot emit. I've been doing a lot of signals and it's been good. It makes the game run faster, so. Add in there. All right. So now we can connect this all up with signals. Also, there's no way to get an upgrade while you're in a zone. So really we can just set another variable var locked, right? And then we can say yeah, if locked. Oops. Less than or equal to 0. Yeah, so I don't have to swap out the icon anymore. So if it's locked, we'll do that. Set that. Otherwise say control visible is false, and then there we say nothing because it's visible by default. And also say disabled is true. Here we say disabled is false. Okay, so this is much better. All right. So if not locked, and then we have to make sure we have enough money. So global dot money is greater than or equal to our cost. I should say less than or equal. We say return, and also say disabled is true. Or I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just go ahead and do this. And I'll set that to whatever active is. So if not active, I'll say it's equal to less than cost and not active. I don't know why. Oh, cost isn't declared, right? Float. Then I'm going to connect this up. The function called update. And then let's also set cost is equal to, we'll do clamp F. So let's see, our pond costs 0, the lake costs 100, so 100 times 10 is 1,000. I feel like that feels about right. So clamp it to 100. In for that one. And this is going to be equal to our region. I'm going to get region data. Current region E. Region data dot cost times 10. Then we need to add the function update. So this is going to change our text and all that stuff. Pod data global dot get active false. And then we can check stuff like if active. So I'll just call update at the beginning. So do this, new text is equal to raise pot. That should work. I had to swap them. All right. I think we're mostly good there. So this isn't going to really do much right now, but all it is just being able to drop it in the water and then raise it back up. So, and this is dead. It's because we saved a null variable. So we have to say it's equal to nothing. It's actually a dictionary. It's equal to that. This always happens when I'm like creating these variables during runtime. It saves null because the variable doesn't exist yet, and then it crashes the game. But it's fine. Doesn't ever happen normally. All right, if we go to the pond, okay, there's no such thing as cost on the region table. Let's go figure that out. Travel cost, okay. Let's try this again. Almost out of water. And this happened again. Yay! I am doing this right? Pot data is pot data. Okay. Should be fine. Let's do this again, I guess. And we had to like let the game save so it stops throwing errors. So here, I'm just gonna, we definitely saved at this point probably. I'll give it one more second. Let's quit to desktop. So we have good pot data. All right. So now if I go over to here, you can see it requires research pots. It's good. And also notice that it seems to be hovering even though the button is locked, which is kind of interesting. Does that always happen? Or did I change that behavior? I thought I set it to be disabled. It is set to disabled. I mean, I could make it so it doesn't hover whenever it's locked, because it does kind of give the impression that it is like clickable. So I'll just say don't do hovered with buttons disabled. And also the same thing down here. All right. Yeah, that's better. So if I go research that now, pots, boom. Now I should be able to drop it. Yeah. So it shows drop pot. I click on it, boom. The pot has been dropped. I'll do like a little, I'll show that I consumed money. It'll throw it into the water. Then I can click it again to raise it. Now raising it doesn't seem to do anything for some reason. Let's figure that out. That's because I do this. So if it's active, otherwise do that. Then here we copy the same thing, but say it's inactive. Then when we set it to active true, we're going to do global dot UI dot money particles false. And then also say global.money minus equals cost. Okay. Yeah, you can see it work now. Infinite money consumer button. So let's update like the little text and stuff now. So whenever we, I guess we'll just call that an update, probably the easiest way. So if it says drop pot, we can set this text. Global dot, format number commas, cost. And then up here, it's going to show how many fish have been caught, right? And I might set a limit also on how many creatures can be caught at one given time, just so it's not like an unlimited number of creatures. So I might say X out of 10 creatures caught or something, you know? And I can already tell that this is going to need to be a rich text label. Here, let's actually do this. I don't know why sometimes the game gets super laggy. My computer? No. No. Why is it so laggy? Am I running out of RAM or something? Oh, it might just be that I have all these tabs open. Let's see if that like fixes it. Oh, it's just the scene is still incredibly laggy. I'm not sure why. Look at how slow this is, dude. Is it our, like, one of our shaders? Is it the cloud shader? No. Canvas modulate? What is so slow in this scene? Is it our God rays? Is it our particles? I don't know what's up with this. It's incredibly slow for some reason. No idea why. Whatever, it'll be fine. I don't think it gets that slow in games. I don't know why it's doing that. Might need to reload the project. Okay, so now it shows minus 100, and then I drop it, and it shows how many creatures have been caught. So yeah. And I'll do a little animation or something, or just show a pot being thrown out, and it plunks into the water. And then whenever you raise it, we'll have to show all the creatures you caught. Yeah, that works pretty well. So then, for dropping the pot, I'm going to format this text. So font. We're going to increase the font size. Maybe 24. Yeah, at least 24. Maybe even go up to 32, I don't know. And then, color is going to be equal to what I've been doing for the red color. I need to like just have a variable somewhere with it standardized, but just increasing the value of this one all the way up so that it's easier to read. It seems to look pretty good, I think. Oh, and it's got a scroll box. That's not supposed to happen. Go fix that. Could be how many scripts we have open, maybe. Do have quite a few open now. Crazy how much more there is in the game now. Oh, and the project crashed. Yeah, something wasn't right there. Okay. Let's see if it dies again. It's still super slow. I don't know why it's so slow here. It's a little weird. Oh, and now all of a sudden it's not. I don't know. I don't know. Weird. Very strange. I'm going to turn off auto wrapping. And now it's slow again. I don't know what's going on, guys. And then also fit content so that if it like gets really large. I guess I will turn on auto wrapping. Because if it goes beyond the width of this, I do want it to start going up. I think we want to say turn off fit content and then just raise up the size of it. Let's set it to something like 64 and then position will be minus 64 like that. But now if I increase the size, it'll just go up. Yeah. Very good. Make sure mouse is set to ignore. Don't want people to click on it. Same with this one too, honestly. Yeah. Alrighty. So this mechanic is like almost done. Literally the last thing that we need to do is just like calculate how frequently you actually get things from it, right? So, and you can see I just came back here and my pot is already in the water. So now I can hit raise pot and it shows how many creatures I've caught. So I can go like boom, raise it up. And then when we do that, we'll do the inverse animation where it flies out and it shows all the creatures you've caught. I don't know if they will count toward my keep net weight limit or not. I guess they will. I guess I'll make it so when you pick up the pod, it fills up your keep net. Because otherwise it'd be a little weird if it didn't. Like, how are you bringing these guys back home, you know? This pond is going to be so overfished. Wild. How is there so many fish in this pond? You think there'd be like a couple maximum, you know? Waiting for the bite. It's magic, yeah. I caught a goldfish. Let's go. All right, so boom. Now it's really easy. We're going to kind of do the exact same thing that I do for like all the other stuff in the game, which is just have a big timer that's running in global continuously and calculating fish that we've caught. And it's really straightforward, honestly. And then the only other thing for offline catching, right, is I'll make it so fish get caught offline as well. And I don't know if I'm gonna clamp the pots or give the pots a time limit for offline idling. I'm not sure. I mean, it would make sense technically to link it into that same system with the efficiency and all that stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. Oh man. I'm very tired. I've been streaming for 2 hours already. I'll have to get some sleep. I have no water. Hey folks, Lamp Music, welcome in. How's it going? Alright, so I just need to change that to display the current amount of fish. Thank you for the hydrate. It's like nothing left in there, almost. I have to go up and get some more water. We did it! We caught a minnow! Okay. This game is juice. I like it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying to make everything very satisfying. Lots of particles and sounds and stuff. Little, even like the animations on the buttons and stuff. It does a little wobble when you hover over it. I'm covering it up. Like this button. The chef, what? That's an insane deal. 1 bluegill and 1 walleye for $500,000. I mean, don't mind if I do, you know? Okay. And then, yeah, we can throw in pot upgrades instead of equipment, which I think will be cool. And it makes sense that it extends from equipment. So, the pots upgrade does actually cost more than Ascension. Which I guess is... I don't know, like, where I kind of want to place pots in terms of progression, right? Because I don't want it to just be something that you immediately unlock at the beginning. I feel like it almost sort of makes sense as, like, having a really high research cost. So maybe we'll just keep it where it's at. I do like how the research tree has been filling out, though. I need to do more Ascension upgrades soon. I just had to think of stuff for Ascension that would make sense. Because like a lot of stuff, it feels better as like an actual upgrade, like this stuff. Ascension, I think, to me is more of like little like special bonuses, like offline time limit stuff, you know, is a big part of Ascension. And doing like research doubling, things like that. I wonder what else we could put into Ascension. Does anybody have ideas for Ascension? Anything that you'd particularly like to see? I do want some really expensive Ascension at some point that lets you ascend without losing your tanks and stuff. So like basically semi-perma stuff. It would be nice. Yeah. Same with like shop decorations, and I do have it set so the tank decorations persist on Ascension. It's probably a good idea. Oh, that's a bug. It's not supposed to close the menu behind it when I open this. I have to do that. Give me 2 fish per pole? Yeah, that would be kind of crazy. Increase the number of fish you get. Or like a chance to get more fish. That would be kind of a nice, fun little Ascension. 10% chance to get a second fish. I could do that. Yeah, Ascension should be stuff like that. That's just like little bonuses and abilities that are really powerful. That make like getting through the game even faster. Because I think the whole idea of Ascension is like, you want upgrades in there to make the next Ascension even faster to get to. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be super, like a whole lot faster, but just so you can like, actually get to ascend again. So otherwise the cost for Ascension points scales up so much, it gets to a point where it's really difficult to do anything. Like you can see that I have to make hundreds of millions of dollars to get where I'm at with Ascension points right now, so give me an NPC fisher I can hire that has a chance of catching fish while I'm away. That would be fun. Possibly. We could, I'll write that down. Possible offline NPC fisherman. Yeah. Maybe like he's unable to catch rare fish, but he would be able to, you know, catch a bunch of common fish just to have on supply. Yeah, if you got any ideas, definitely just like throw them down. We could, maybe I'll even like open a post up on the playtesting forum that we've got, just to get some Ascension ideas going. Because I want to add more Ascension. The more Ascension we add, the more like further, you know, we can go in terms of progression. Cheaper purchases, yeah, that could be an interesting one. I'll do Ascensions. Yeah, because I mean, there is eventually going to be sort of a limit in terms of how large our money can get, right? So I may do some rebalancing at some point to kind of decrease the value of everything, basically like a opposite of inflation, deflation perhaps. Because I don't ever want people to hit the 64-bit integer limit and break the game, because that's bad. So the 64-bit integer limit luckily is enormous, and I don't think anybody's ever going to actually reach that number, because it's up at like it's 9 quintillion, right? So it's an insanely large number. I mean, it's like ridiculous. Let's see, 100,000 million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion. Yeah, it's $9 quintillion, which is just insane. So like, let's say I was making $100 million a second, right? And then let's say that I offline for a year, right? So how many seconds are in a year? Many. So this is how many seconds are in a year, and let's say I'm making 100 million per second. If I make that much money for a year, then I still wouldn't even hit the limit. 100, 1,000, 1 million, 1 billion, 1 trillion, quadrillion. It's only $3 quadrillion. Which is not even close to even 1 quintillion, right? And $1 million per second is absolutely bonkers. That's like so far beyond anything that's possible right now. So I think we're probably pretty safe for now. I don't have to worry so much about people reaching that amount. How long would it actually take? Like if we, let's say that we want to make 9, we can calculate this in terms of years. So let me write down this number here. So that's our limit of money. We can say, then divide it by our cash per second. So let's say we're making 1 billion cash per second, just like to go crazy with it, right? So it would take that many seconds, and then you divide that by how many seconds are in a year, which is 31,536,000. So it would take somebody 292 years to hit the limit, making $1 billion per second. So I think we're probably okay. I mean, I will keep adding end game progression, you know, ways to make even more money and more upgrades and ascension bonuses and all that stuff. But it is, that is a lot of money. I mean, I've got like a pretty decent ascension bonus right now, and I'm only making 200,000 per minute, right? So just out of curiosity, how long would it take me right now to finish the game and hit the limit? Let's figure it out. So that number, I'm just gonna like save this number. we have to paste again, whatever. So 265,465 divided by 60. That's how much I'm making per second. 4424 1416. So it would take that many seconds. Then we divide that by our seconds in a year. So it would take me 66 million years right now. I think it's okay. It really goes to show you how just absolutely ridiculous the 64-bit integer limit is, you know? Like, 9 quintillion is such a big number. It's not even funny. But yeah, it's just insane. So I don't think we have to worry about it. If it takes me 66 million years at the current quote-unquote endgame state, like, there's more optimization I could do, but, you know, I've gotten all the ascension and upgrades on this save. And I think we're probably okay for a while. Once we start getting into, like, the under 10 years range, that's when I want to worry about it a little bit more. Because I don't want somebody's game to break. That'd suck if you, like, played the game for 5 years and then your save broke, so. IV60 thought 64-bit was too small, so it is 128-bit addressing? That's insane. I don't know how you could ever have more than 9 quintillion devices. You know? There's no way. We're not even close to that right now. Yeah. Why would you do 128-bit addressing? I mean, even if, let's say that we did eventually reach the 64-bit integer limit in LurtIn, luckily there's solutions to that problem. It's pretty easy. I can just basically represent our money with another 64-bit integer. So you end up with, instead of our normal 64 to the power of 64 or whatever, right? Which is normally, or is that what it is? How do you calculate limit? Or it's 2 to the power of 64. We would get that, and then also that to the power of 64, right? Or would it just be that times 64? No, because we'd be able to represent a whole new magnitude. So, okay, it just gets insane. Like, with 2 values, you can practically represent any number you could ever imagine. So, I think we'll be okay. Worst case scenario, we implement that mechanic, but I don't think we'll need to worry about it too much. So. Yeah, that would be insane. I can't imagine somebody crossing the 9 quintillion limit. It's just, like, stupid. I mean, there are games that do that. Like, some mobile games and stuff and idle games let you go absolutely wild with, like, your earnings, like Venture Capitalist and Cookie Clicker. But, like, I kind of don't like that sometimes. I feel like money starts to lose a lot of meaning when you go beyond something like $1 quadrillion, right? So I think we'll probably kind of not let people go that insane with it. I think it would just get to a point where it just becomes a little stupid. So. Because I'd like people to generally understand or conceptualize the amount of money. I mean, obviously, nobody really can conceptualize like $1 billion, but it's at least like a term that's used in real life. Like a billionaire and this multi-billion-dollar deal, or, you know, we do work with billions and even trillions to a certain extent, like with the US debt. So I think that'll be fine. 31 minutes. I guess it's because it probably floors. I should be sealing that value, I think. I do wonder how I calculated the value. I don't know. All right, so let's go get the code set up for adding to our pots now. Shouldn't be that bad. I do have process event in here. I don't know if that's where I want to do it. I might just go ahead and do it inside of like a timer, which is what I do for like the grime. Because if we look at the accumulate grime stuff in here, grime timer, then activate grime, this is how it does it in here. So we'll probably do something like that. I might just have like a, how would I want to do it? Oh man. Because I could do a timer that activates every couple of minutes or something to like incur a fish gathering event. Could do it that way. Or I do it how I did with like the feeding boost time, where I have like a timer in between catches on each pot. But I don't think there's really much of a reason to do it that way. Seems like it would just be worse for performance. It kind of makes sense on that one because I want players to see how much time is remaining. So actually knowing specifically how much time is left is important on that one. But for this one, it doesn't really matter because it's just, yeah, it just doesn't. So I think we'll do that. Do a timer. So I'm gonna go up to ready. Then we've got like grime, timer, and all this stuff. So I'm gonna do another one of these. And I do want upgrades to be able to increase the time between catches and stuff like that, so... I might for this one not use an actual timer, but use a like a value. I think that's what I'll do. So var pot time and var remaining pot time. And let's just say by default, like every 3 minutes or something, right? I don't want it to be that insane. I mean, that's maybe even too much. Like maybe we start with 5 minutes. Or something like that. What is this one set to? That's set to 1800. It's 30 minutes. Okay. All right, so we'll do that. Then go down to process. And we'll just do something down here. So we'll say remaining pot time minus equals delta. And then if it's less than or equal to 0, then I'll just have another function catch pots. So what we're going to say is for I in regions table dot get region ID, we say var region data is regions table dot get region ID and then now we're going to check region ID not find. Oh. Then we say pots or pot data index region ID. And then I have to create an array of fish. So let's just do this. Dot has fish. Let's just do this. If it doesn't have fish, then say dot fish is equal to an empty array. And then now we just say inside of there what fish we've caught. It should be pretty easy. So we do now have to denote which fish can actually be caught inside of pots. So we need to go set that up too now. So if we go back into our regions table. We're going through all this stuff. Pond. So we're going to have fish and then also pot fish. This is going to be another loot table in here. Hey, Ratsa, welcome in. Glorious gentlemen, thank you, thank you. I like at your stream, yeah. Welcome in. How's it going? What have you been up to? And we'll just name these different things, like crab and whatnot. All right. So now we can define what guys you can catch where. Cool. So now what we're gonna check is choose weighted, and we're gonna pass in our region data dot pot fish, then say var fish chosen, right? Is that at index 1. So that's going to return an ID of the fish that we've just caught. Then we just say pot data at region ID dot fish dot push back fish. There we go. So now they should catch fish every once in a while. Gonna complain and scream, so let's restart. Been busy, or let's see. Shouldn't be up now, but imagine me taking care of myself, yeah. Been busy in studying cybersecurity, yeah, nice. This weekend has been spent trying to figure out why my PC reboots without error. That's odd. I play Path of Exile 1. Man, those are the worst. Those are just the most frustrating bugs, aren't they? Where you get like something that doesn't throw any error and just like especially something like that, since it's like a catastrophic issue. That does really suck, actually. Yeah. How old isn't Path of Exile 1 an old game? Oh, it's not as old as I thought. I mean, 2013, I guess it is over 10 years old, but that's not that old. Like, I mean, I still play games to this day that don't do that, or that are older than that, like Terraria and Minecraft. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know why it would be doing that. Has anybody else been having the same issue online, or is it just like completely on your own with it? 2013, they updated the engine a few years ago. Okay, well then yeah, it really shouldn't be crashing. I don't know why it would be doing that. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely odd. What they found. That's the worst, dude. The only thing worse than having a problem is having a problem and no one else has the same problem. Yeah. On your end somehow, I guess so. I'm trying to think what would cause a crash like that. Yeah, it could be like possibly like a RAM corruption. I'd probably do a memory test. Just to make sure, because it could be maybe what's happening is that game specifically is only accessing a very particular section of your RAM and then it crashes everything. But you can just, if you're on Windows, you can just run like a memory diagnostic. It's probably not a CPU issue. Usually CPU issues, if there's something wrong with your CPU, it just doesn't boot at all. But RAM is usually like that, where like it can just cause weird random crashes until it just stops working altogether. So could also potentially be on Linux. Okay, yeah. I'm sure Linux has a tool just like that. It's probably called something different, but some kind of memory test. I guess it could also potentially be like if you're on like a hard drive, like potential hard drive failure. There's like the smart diagnostic tools that you can use for that. One thing that's actually been nice is crystal disk info. I actually just tested this on my own computer because both of my brothers, their hard drives both failed like at the same time. So now I'm a little on edge. I'm like, hope mine don't fail. That'd suck. Had my own graphics CPU and GPU, and they were stable and low. Yeah. Trying to get memtest 86 working, but need to do it with a live version of my Linux. Okay. But yeah, all my drives have been pretty good. But I recommend also just giving this a quick download, Crystal Disk Info, just to make sure it's not a drive issue. Even if it's not, I think it's always just nice to keep tabs on all this stuff because sometimes bad things happen in here. On SSD? Well, it could be that if you have like, I mean, there's multiple reasons a computer could crash like that. It could be accessing a file on a different drive, potentially. I don't know if it is or not. If you have like, you know, for example, like Steam installed on a hard drive and then running your OS on the SSD or something in the game, that could be a potential cause. Usually SSDs don't go bad. Like whenever I've seen an SSD go bad, they like die. Oh, you only have one drive. Well, then you're probably fine. Yeah, the most likely thing I would say then is probably RAM, which is too bad because RAM costs so much money. I have had many RAM sticks go bad in the past. Although honestly, if anything is to go bad, I would prefer it to be RAM because it's really easy to replace and it doesn't cause any permanent data loss. Ugh, I hate when motherboards go bad. Ugh. It's always really difficult to figure out when a motherboard goes bad because it's always like, it could be literally anything else too. It could be like, maybe it's your CPU, or maybe it's your drive, or it could be even the power supply, or your graphics card, or anything. RAM? Yeah. I can't afford RAM anymore. Say easy to replace. I say need to remove my CPU cooler to do it. Oh yeah, it depends on like what your setup is. I think I could. Yeah, I've got like a liquid cooler, so I don't need to move the cooler. I'm glad I bought a bunch of RAM before it was expensive. I mean, I bought this a long time ago, but it's stupid how much RAM is these days, though. This is just DDR4, and it's not particularly fast. I would really love to upgrade to DDR5 and get a new CPU at some point, but man, I don't know, man. I've been looking at the prices of stuff, and it's not looking very good. Yeah. Oh, you asked a Godot question above? Oh, I apologize. Let me see what I missed. Oh, yeah. Question right back at you. What's the best way to learn Godot? Yeah, I would say definitely give a look through the documentation on Godot. Documentation for Godot is great. It's honestly probably some of the best documentation I've ever seen for any program I've ever used. Because it's got like some really helpful sections for beginners. There's literally like, you can just click, you know, whatever. I know how to make a game. I want to know how to use Godot. And then it brings you right to like the section that you want. Or you could go to like the very beginning. Like I've never made a game and I want to make a game. And it brings you through everything. So the documentation is great. Highly recommend giving it a read through because it just tells you everything, all of the things that you need to know. And then there's a bunch of really great like step-by-step tutorials. And it tells you about what nodes are and how to instantiate them and all the basics of Godot. So definitely give that a look for sure. And then the other channel I'd probably recommend in terms of tutorials is Brackeys. because he does do really good tutorials. Some of his videos are extremely long. So, you know, I'd be warned. I'm not usually such a big fan of videos like this where it's like how to make a game. Like, it's fine, but you're packing literally everything into one video, so it's a little extreme. I would say probably best not to do that. But it does have like good information in there though. But I think it's definitely better to look at these more individual tutorials like lighting in Godot and how to make VFX. Like, those are much better tutorials in my opinion, because it's going through how to do this one tool or one node, and then you get to figure out what to do with it, and that's important. Yeah, so I would say if you want to like learn, just start making it. Yeah, like you said, Steven, just start making, like, pick an idea and start making a real game. Because then you get to work through all the steps of what you actually have to do. So, but yeah, that's always how I've learned, and I think it's been the best way to go about it. Because you don't get locked in this, like, sandbox environment of, like, here's how to do this, and then you feel like, I feel like mentally you kind of get, like, stuck. At least that's how I feel, right? But when I am just making my own game, that's like completely up to me what I decide to add and do. And that to me makes learning a lot easier. Because then I'm actually thinking, like, okay, I want to add this. And now I can think for myself and be like, what are some ways I could add this? And that's when you start to get good at designing systems instead of just writing them. So, but yeah, anyways, that's what I would recommend. Now the Udemy course about making a game Godot, and I don't think that's the way. I mean, it's definitely like useful to read through those. Sometimes there's little bits of information that can help. But yeah, I'd say generally, I always say be very specific with the tutorials that you watch. So managed to get an old game called Creatures running. Oh yeah, game kind of has an advanced biology system. That's cool. Yeah, I would also love to do something like that someday. I really, really love, I used to watch these videos all the time. Carrie K's video, all his videos on, he used to do all these like evolution simulator videos, right? Like all these ones. It's crazy that it's like 10 years ago now. But I thought it was so cool being able to emulate evolution like that. Like all of these videos. Stop. But yeah, all these are really cool. It's just so like interesting to see how these creatures are learning and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I think something like that is totally doable in Godot. Honestly, the concept behind like either evolution simulator or just like a simulation of a region or whatever, you know, with like plants, and he did one of those recently too, actually. It was I don't think it was technically a evolution simulator. Where was that one? Let's go to latest. Yeah, like this video is about creating like an ecosystem. And it also does have genetic evolution, but it's pretty neat. There's like different types of plants and animals and stuff, and they all have like different stats and desires and needs. I think it's really cool. Stuff like that is very fun to program, in my opinion, because you get to see like it comes to life. I don't know. Yeah, I can do so much cool stuff. It doesn't need to be biology. It can be a society, planetary system. Yeah, there's a million different things you could do. There's also another really good channel that does like simulations. Is I can't ever remember the name, but he's like the Blob Blob simulation video. Primer does really good like videos on simulating evolution and stuff. They're a little more like produced in a way. Like you're not like seeing the behind the scenes of how it works, but I do think it's really cool learning about like I mean, he does go over kind of like how it works, right? But there's so many in here. Like the evolution of teamwork is really cool. I think this is what's really fun about simulations, is you get to like just ask a question and then literally see what happens, right? So it's really fun. But yeah, these are really good videos. I love these ones too. He only uploads like once a year or something. Well, he actually has uploaded more recently, but very infrequent uploads. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, I think that's totally doable in Godot. I don't know how many people are like doing that specific kind of thing, so there might not be a lot of pre-existing tutorials on how to do simulation stuff. But I think all the core mechanics you would need are already there. Like, I'm sure it's not too bad to figure out. All you'd really have to do evolution is just keep track of like a big list of variables, right? That's like your genetics, basically. And then whenever a new creature is created, you can merge genetics and then sprinkle in a little bit of mutation. And that would probably work pretty well. Creatures has a lot of documentation on how it works. You know, understand algorithms. Yeah, I'm sure you definitely. But yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, we are working on Lured In right now. It's a idle fishing game where you run an aquarium, catch fish, bring them back to make money. I'll boot it up and show you. So I've got an aquarium here. All my aquariums have fish inside of them. We can buy upgrades. You know, it's also an incremental game. I can upgrade my equipment. I can unlock research. I can ascend for other bonuses like offline time limits and research boosts and stuff like that. And then you can travel to places and go fishing. So that's the main game loop. You go out somewhere, catch a fish, and then bring them back and put them in your tank. So it's kind of a little bit like Chillquarium if anybody's played that game. But instead of just like dropping down a card pack, you actually have to go like catch the fish yourself, which I think is more fun. Yeah, I just caught a bluegill, so like I can put that guy in one of my tanks over here, like this one. And now he's swimming around in there. And he's making me $47 a minute. Yeah, it's been fun working on this. I'm just getting things kind of ready for like a public playtest. So that's probably going to be the next big thing. We've been working on controller support to get it ready for Steam Deck on launch. I do have to maybe send a message to Steam and see if I can do like an early Steam Deck verification process, because I don't see, supposedly there's supposed to be a tool inside of Steamworks that lets you do that, but I think it's only for a specific people, probably only accounts that have made a lot of money. You can see there is no tool in here for me to do that, as far as I know. Unless I can do this and run Steam Deck compatibility. No. This is just an overview of all the different things. But yeah. So we're gonna start Starground? Yeah, that's still making progress in the background. I just, I really need to get other things in motion. Just because, I mean, Starground's great, don't get me wrong, but it's, Starground isn't making very much money. So it's really hard for me to only do Starground, I suppose. I just really want to have some other games moving in the pipeline to make development of Starground a little bit more feasible. That's really the main thing. Because it's hard for me to sink in years working on Starground if I'm barely making any money every year, so it's difficult. But it's coming along. I want to do a big change to... I just want to focus a lot more on like new player experience. I want to make it so that the weapons in Starground are treated as just an individual item instead of like inside of the tool bench. because I think it's a little unintuitive on how to actually craft them. And also it means if you don't craft a weapon before you go into the dungeon, you're kind of screwed, which is bad. So I want to make it where I can actually like just drop a weapon as an item. I think that would help a lot. But yeah. Something just broke right on my VC. Steam made Cyberpunk crash. That's whack. I don't know what the... Oh, you fixed it? Okay, nice. Wacky. But yeah, Starground's still coming along. It's just it's difficult. It does really reach a spot, you know, with technical debt and stuff, especially with multiplayer, where development just becomes more and more difficult as time goes on. And also just because it really shifts away from just big gameplay features into like a lot of little tiny tweaks and refining and bug fixes and the things that really suck to do. So yeah, it's been difficult staying motivated working on Starground. Of course, I'm still planning on finishing the game. I'm not just gonna like abandon it because that's lame. But yeah, I really don't want to burn myself out completely on the game though, and I'm worried that if I just grind out Starground stuff, I'm gonna reach that spot pretty soon where I'm like, I'm so sick of this game, I don't want to work on it anymore. So I guess in a little way I've almost been just kind of putting it slightly on the back burner. I mean, obviously it's not... Whoa. Oh, it crashed. Oh, it's because it got it from a region data that doesn't have hot fish, so we have to say one more check here. So if region data does not have hot fish, then we need to continue. Get out. I should fix that. Cracking that dough, yeah. Crash installable, yeah. Or crashing blurred in, yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. Part of me definitely does want Starground to just be finished, right? And I don't know. It's really hard to get Starground to that spot, just because it's so big, and multiplayer is so hard. I get so tired of having to fix multiplayer bugs constantly. And that's like something that's been extremely annoying. It's like the more things that I add into Starground, the more time I end up spending just fixing multiplayer, right? And so it's just this like this self-defeating loophole, or like not loophole, but cycle. Just add stuff, can't add as much stuff because I added stuff. I don't know, but it's really annoying. And that's why Learn-In is not multiplayer, because it's just not worth it. And same with Deadlift. Deadlift is not multiplayer. For your customers, yeah, I'm just sending them into the void realm. Get destroyed. But yeah, we'll definitely be working on stuff. Oh, I don't really like multiplayer anyways? Yeah. I don't think multiplayer is as important as people might think. Like, multiplayer is cool, but I think it mostly makes sense for games where multiplayer is the focus. And like Starground works in multiplayer, and it can be fun in multiplayer, but to me at least Starground feels more like something I'd rather play in single player. So, but oh man, I don't know. So much complexity to the mix. It really does. The contrast between development speed on this and Starground has just been night and day. It's kind of ridiculous. Like Learn-In, I've added so much stuff. I've got like the whole options menu done in like a matter of days. We've got a bunch of settings already. We've got controller support. We've got a bunch of zones and upgrades and ascension, all these things. They're just done. Like, I work on a thing in one day and it's over and it works and there's nothing wrong. There's rarely ever any bugs with Lurden. Like, if there's ever a bug, I figure it out in like 2 seconds and I solve it and I'm done. It's just, it's insane. When you don't have to factor in all the weird asynchronous multiplayer stuff, it becomes so much easier to make a game. Yeah, it's just insane. And that's why I feel pretty comfortable being able to finish Lurden in time for July. And even though it's less than 1/4 the time I've spent on Starground, I feel like it'll have just as much content to offer, right? And that's the other big thing that's really kind of been difficult with my motivation with Starground, is that it really is so much work to add in stuff. It's like, and again, I preface this with, I will finish Starground, but it's like, it just makes me even question why I'm bothering to work on the game at all, if that makes sense. But yeah. Still think of doing a multiplayer game, more of a prototype rather than a large game. I definitely think multiplayer can be fun. And it can even be fun to program at certain times. But I think you have to be specific about what other features you pair up with multiplayer. And that's the big thing. And that's the fatal flaw that I've made with Starground, right? Because there is a lot of systems in Starground. I'm having to sync an insane amount of data in Starground. I have to synchronize modified terrain, you know, if you break a tile or place down a floor. I have to synchronize like all the locations of enemies, and I have to synchronize all of the conveyor belts and all of the crafters and animals and crops and fish and dungeons. There's so many things that I have to make work. It's ridiculous. Like, it's not so much multiplayer's fault, but it's the fact that like it's multiplied. It's like exponentially harder the more things that you have to do with multiplayer. So it just gets to a spot where it sucks to work on Starground. Yeah, it's been a nightmare. But I think multiplayer is fine as long as the scope of your game is reasonable, right? Like, I think if you just have some really simple thing, no modifiable map, you know, even synchronizing a couple enemies and stuff is fine. But as long as you're not synchronizing like modifiable terrain and like thousands and thousands of objects, it's not that bad. It's just the pairing with Starground has been really unfortunate, you know? So, I don't know. Yeah. It's quite annoying. And of course, hindsight is 2020. I didn't know that it was going to be that hard going into making Starground, you know? And Starground didn't even start out with any of that stuff. So that's another big thing too, is like, it used to be a lot easier to set up the multiplayer in Starground, but it just keeps getting harder and harder. Yeah, I was looking at doing a top-down run-and-gun co-op. Like, that would be probably fine. Anything like shooters and stuff usually have a very static environment. It kind of makes me one day want to make a shooter game. Because like, or just think of something like CS. I know it's not like a co-op run and gun type of thing, but maybe somewhat along the same lines of shooting things. Like Counter-Strike has a set map. There's nothing that changes in the map, you know? You don't move the terrain or change a building. Like, the map is always a universal constant for anybody. So it means that you don't have to do any map synchronization whatsoever on multiplayer. You just have all the clients download the map, and then they're good to go. And then the only thing that you have to synchronize on multiplayer with a shooter is just player position and player actions. That's literally it, right? It's so much easier. And obviously there is a lot of complexity with something like a shooter though, because one of the things that really matters is latency, and like you have to maintain an accurate state of what's actually happening, because if somebody shoots somebody else, you have to know who did it first. So yeah, there's a bunch of complexity when it comes to that stuff, but just the idea of having a static map and also inventory systems. That's another big thing that's really annoying to do in multiplayer, because you have to do a lot of like item synchronization and stuff like that. So that's been the other challenge with Starground, I think, is having to synchronize all that stuff. And a lot of times you don't have to do that with other kinds of genres. You just don't have inventories in the same way, you know? But yeah, I'm just ranting about Starground, guys. I still do like Starground. I'm still going to keep updating Starground. But yeah, it just gets a little frustrating sometimes. I don't know. Hopefully you guys get where I'm coming from with that. Like, yeah. And I guess also, like, I don't see a reason to rush the release of Starground, you know? Initially, I had a really, like, tight deadline with Starground, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Starground done and then release 2026 in February. And not doing that anymore. And I guess I kind of realized, like, why, though? Like, would it actually make the game better to release early? And I don't really think so. I think what I'd rather do with Starground is like keep working on it until it's actually finally in a spot that I'm happy with, you know? And I don't think it's really there yet. There's still a lot of things in Starground that need changing and improving and stuff. Multiplayer, of course, needs more work. But yeah, really the biggest thing I think is just the initial onboarding experience of new players. I think sometimes it's really hard for people in the dungeons. I always see people always die right away in the dungeons, right? So that's a big thing that needs to be worked out. And like, automation stuff is fine for the most part, but there is still a lot of work to be done with that as well. I would love to do like an in-game wiki and stuff like that. Just have some more information for people to be able to do things. Also show stuff like crafting, like recipe crafting time and things like that, like so you can actually calculate like ratios in your head and stuff. Like all that kind of stuff would be very nice. So I will be working on all that, but I just don't want to rush into it anymore with Starground. I think I'm at the spot with that game's development where it's like I really need to think about really the best way to add things in, because I'm tired of just saying, this thing would be fun, and then add it and then realize I'm just wasting time, right? Or like I add in fishing and I'm like, oh, what is fishing even gonna do? I want to really like think, okay, if I make this change to dungeoning stuff, is this going to be a good thing for the game? And I just want to spend more time on it. Take it slow, I think. So that's going to be the plan. Yeah. I don't know. But don't fret. There will be more Starground updates. I just want to make sure that the next updates I do and the time I put into it is worth it. So I'm going to be very specific, right? About like what I end up doing for that. Anyways, rant is over. Sorry for my little Starground rant. But yeah. And I think the biggest thing I'll probably take away from Starground once it's finally over one day is what not to do. That's usually what I take away from most projects. And that's just how game development goes, unfortunately. It's It's a continual series of errors until hopefully one day you stop making errors. Yeah, I mean, really, it's the same with anything. You could say the same about software engineering, like making applications and programs versus games. It's probably the same thing. I know it's definitely not unique to Starground or even gaming in general. Yeah, same stuff, just not as hard as games. Yeah. Games are quite hard because it requires so many different disciplines at the same time. Especially like working on things solo is such a pain. Because like I don't have anybody that I can lean on for things, right? Oh yeah, I also had to pass in a region ID on this, I realized. Because with other games, like when you have a team of multiple people, it's like, okay, I feel sick or I need a break. It's like, fine. Just the other person is still there working on stuff. So it's not like all progress is being stalled, right? Like it's okay. But when it's literally just you working on stuff, it's really hard. Because then like any time that you stop working on something, progress will completely pause until you continue again. And also another thing too is just it's similarly on that at a different scale. Like if you work on programming, you're taking time away from you working on art and vice versa. So it's just like a constant trade-off of everything. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Let's see, connect, update. Thank you for the hydrate. There's not much water left in here. Gonna have to get more. There's an upside to working on your own. You don't have to put up with other people. It's true. It is true. I mean, there are definitely upsides. That's for sure. It is kind of nice, like, sometimes working with other people can be a little difficult. Because I think something that I always find, and it's definitely no offense to anybody that I've done stuff with, but most of the time people don't have the same like drive or dedication that I have to getting something completed. And so it usually means that I end up just having to pull everything forward myself anyways. At least that's what I found. So it can be difficult. You don't really have to worry about that if you're working solo because you have to regardless. I do think like maybe one of the best ways about kind of developing is, you know, work by yourself solo, but then if you really do need outside help, I think like freelance work is the best way to do it, right? Because then you kind of get the best of both worlds. You can get help with like from people if you really need something done, but then you're not 100% like attached to that person. Like it's not like they're taking a cut out of the game's earnings. You don't have to worry about like creative clashing. Like I want this and then this person wants this, right? So there is a lot of pros to that, I think. And you see a lot of people do that in industry. Like, for example, Balatro, the person that made all the music for Balatro was just hired as a freelancer to make the music. And I just feel like that's a good way to go about it. So, and that's probably what I'm going to kind of almost do in a way. It really depends on the project. I mean, like with Lurden, it's definitely, that's kind of the situation where I'm doing everything myself. And then occasionally I will hire on people to help. but yeah. Oh, we need to do the pot limit also. Like, I hire myself out doing small art jobs and such. Hope I can do it between. Oh, I didn't know that you're doing cancer treatments. I'm sorry to hear that. That really sucks. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear about that. Yeah, I've done freelancing stuff in the past. It's not too bad. It does come with its own set of challenges. I mean, one other thing that... Oh man. Oh, I did not know about that. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah. Freelancing though. It's I hate having to deal with the people with freelancing. Like when I did Fiverr, it was kind of sucked. But it's all right though. There's something nice about freelancing. You kind of don't like get locked into things. Like if there's something that doesn't work out or you don't really want to do, you can just kind of move on. So oh man. Stage 3, I went through 16 weeks of chemo and 5 weeks of radiation treatment. That really sucks. Yeah, I completely feel that. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear about that. I do really hope things turn out well for you, but yeah, that sucks, man. But yeah, I honestly 100% though understand the working thing. I think sometimes I think creating things, it gives your time spent a lot of meaning, you know? That's one of the big reasons I like making games, is like, it's not just work that I'm throwing away. You know, working like, yeah, if you worked at like McDonald's or something, like as working at the cash register, like that work isn't making anything permanent. But making a game, it's like you have a creation and something that is permanent, you know? And I think that's a really cool thing to be able to do. That's one of the reasons I just love making anything in general. Whether it's games or videos or anything, it's like, I think that's one of the really cool things about creating. In a way, it's kind of like all of the things I make are little parts of myself, right? Like I think it's not always super apparent, but whenever you make something, you're putting your own self into it. And I think that's really a really cool part about it too. Head hasn't been right to produce ideas for games. I've been doing small prototypes and mechanics. Yeah. No, that's totally, yeah. Yeah, I think it's good to start out with small stuff and yeah, just go from there. It's about creative outlet and craftsmanship. Yeah, definitely. And I like to think that also making the games that I enjoy playing, you know, makes hopefully other people also enjoy playing them too. Putting out games into the world that I think are hopefully enrich the gaming experience for everybody, you know? So man. Set this. This is going to be our limit on how many fish we can store inside of a pot. Actually, I might make it an integer. I don't think we're going to have float storage amounts. Okay, let's go down to the pot function. Ah, man, my throat is so dry, but I'm out of water. I need to go more water. One thing I just want to check here, as long as it's got the fish, I'm just going to see if pot data id.fish.size is greater than pot limit, then we say continue. So let's just make sure this all checks out. So if we don't have fish, wait, why am I saying continue on that? Oh yeah, that's if there's no fish that can spawn there. Otherwise here, if we don't have fish, set fish to an empty array. If size is greater than the limit, then we stop because we don't want it to go beyond that limit. And then we go ahead and add the fish. Then now also inside of our little label here, it should be updating that with how many creatures we've caught inside of the pot. So let's see. Hey, welcome into Fencer. How's it going? Yeah, I appreciate the feedback and the playtesting chat about some of the alert and stuff. Let's see, that was the, I don't remember what you said. Oh yeah, you're talking about like the different decorations and stuff. That I do think that would be pretty neat. Or that was down in the playtesting. Right here. Yeah, I would definitely like to add those in. Then yeah, you're talking about the music. I could definitely decrease the initial volume of the music if you think it's too loud. I mean, you know, we got this slider in there, so it's fine. Like, people can adjust it to what they want. I could drop the initial music volume even lower, like to 25% instead, if you think that would be better. But yeah. Yeah, I can work on all these decorations. We'll try and throw in a few for next update here. Let's see if we have things in our... Yeah, so it shows 2 creatures inside of our pot. So then on a raised pot, we're going to go ahead and set up some code now for actually getting them. And I don't know why I can't raise it anymore. I don't know what happened. There's errors. Oh, I emitted this without doing that. That's why. Try this again. Yeah, so now I can do it. Okay. So whenever we raise the pot, then we're going to collect all the fish that's inside of the pot. Is it all at 100% by default? Do I have that from... That's from earlier versions. I do have the default set to 50% now, I believe. If we go into global, we can check like load user settings or load user data, and you can see music volume right here by default will be set to 0.5. Okay. Well, then we should be good then. Yeah, I have it set to 50% just so it's not super loud, and then people can make it louder if they do want to. Okay. So yeah, hopefully volume can't be set to nan. Oh, I wonder if that shouldn't. Why? How could it be set to nan? I don't know how that happens. That's a little weird, actually. Isn't power just 0? Oh. Hold on, what is power? It's 0. So 0 times 3, I don't get how it's nan. That's a little weird. How would power become... Is there somewhere where I'm doing something weird with power? There, I'm just lerping it. Setting it to 0 there. It could be in one of these formulas in here. Maybe somehow it gets divided into infinity or something. Perfect hit. So, what's going on here? Or I might be dividing it by 0. If delta or something changes. But that's not possible. I'm not dividing it by 0. Because it's 1 plus that, so that shouldn't be possible. And delta is always going to be a positive value, so no, that's not it. I don't know how else power would be becoming not a number. It's really odd. Weird. And it doesn't seem to be happening anymore. Maybe it only happens when I get full power. I don't even know. a little odd. I'll keep an eye on it if it happens again, but oh, and now it's happening again. How is this happening? I'm gonna print out power and just see if I can see it become invalid. Because it's just 0 right now. Like there, it just keeps getting divided out. But it's still a number. Maybe it's just that it becomes less than 0. So I need to say clamp F, power 3, 0, 1, like that. Really weird. Let's try this again. Okay, it's not happening anymore, so I guess that's what was happening. I guess if you set volume to negative, then it's bad. I mean, yeah, it would make sense. Negative volume is not real, so... also this hasn't seemed to be, like... Is it still updating? Let me make sure. Just want to see what this is showing in here. Oh, I forgot to reset it back to the time. That would be what's happening. We have to say remaining pot time is equal to pot time. There we go. Use that add. So now what's going on? It should be at 0. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got reset properly now. Okay, we should be good. I can get rid of printing power because now we're clamping it. Alright, things are looking good. Now, I just kind of want to wait and make sure that this does increment in the pot. I'm pretty sure it will. Oh, what is this? Fish sprites in inventory rendering wrong. Trying to see what the rendering is, what's wrong. It's probably just the wiggle shader. So Venter, are you still in here? I think I might know what you're talking about, but just to double check, when you look at the rendering, what do you think, oh, the bluegill has a hole in it? Oh, so that's not actually a real rendering error. What it is that it's just that the color of the bluegill is the same color as the background color of the panel. That's just how it looks. If we look at the bluegill sprite by itself, you can see this is what the bluegill looks like. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, it does look a little weird when it is the same color. I think what I might do is potentially make the give them like another outline or something, or like a shadow. I think a shadow would work well, because then you can kind of tell the difference between their outline and the actual panel. So I'm probably going to add that. I don't know if you can add a shadow to a texture rect like that. I mean, I know you can do it with like panels and everything else, so... But I think it's only because it's like a UI element. But yeah, it's technically not a bug, but I will count it as an issue because it is an issue. It does look a little weird. Wait, what? Oh, this is like a really old bluegill texture, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I think I remastered the bluegill texture at one point. That's the new one, right? Yeah, this is the old one that was weird. Because you can see like the image size is really weird and big. And this guy. I should get rid of that old texture, honestly. Let me do that because it's confusing. Because I think I have a couple duplicates. Sort by type. I don't want them to have the fish prefix anymore. So, like, fish carp is wrong. I just want carp. Actually, yeah, this is the old carp. You can see. It's not what the carp looks like anymore. So I'm just going to delete that. And same with fish minnow, I think. Yeah, because I just have minnow. And he's like the remastered minnow. The old one was weird. So I'm going to delete that one. I really don't need the Krita document. Okay, so axolotl beta, bluegill, carp, catfish. Yeah, fish bluegill can go away now. Fish food flake. I don't know why that's in the fish folder, but it doesn't really matter. Trout tilapia. And this guy I'm pretty sure is the new tilapia. He is still 32 by 32 though. Oh wait, no, this is the new tilapia. And he's yeah, so get rid of that one. Okay, we should be good now. Just had to fix that. And I bet if I go into the items panel, our table is going to be like a billion missing images or something. No, we're good. I already went through and updated these. Okay, not a big deal. So yeah, anyways, in here, yeah, I don't know if there's a way for me to do a shadow. There is like theme stuff. But that's just type variation, so it doesn't really do anything. I guess I could do some kind of material to do a shadow, perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. But honestly, one solution is just duplicate the icon. Add it as a child of this icon. Call it shadow. And then we just say anchors, full rect. We up the scale of it just a tiny bit to 1.1 and set the pivot offset ratio 0.5, 0.5. We lower the depth. So we go to ordering, set it to -1, and then just set it to pure black. So I could do that with a shader. So we wouldn't do UI shader. We'd make a new one. Call it shadow. Yeah, I was gonna say dupe it, set RGB to 0. Yeah, I think this will work. And visibility, we just set swamp to black. Oh, and actually, I think I just need to say show behind parent like that. There we go. Now, it looks bad right now, but I want to see if we can maybe apply a blur shader to it. I don't know how we would do that. Because I know I can do like a screen space blur. And I already have that set up for a lot of things. Like I use that all over the place in Starground, but I don't know if it would make sense for this one. Maybe something like this would work. Fast blur. Let's see what it looks like. So as you can see, it doesn't work because it uses the screen texture. So I do worry that we're probably going to have to use the screen texture for all these. And also use the screen texture. I might just have to make a separate, like, texture for this that just gets applied behind every single fish. Because this is also using screen texture, so it doesn't work. This one does something, but it looks pretty terrible. I'll have to figure out a way. The texture of the main icon. Yeah, that's what I'm doing in here. It is using the same texture. But it's difficult to do a blur like this. I don't know if there's a good way to do it. There's like frosted glass or something. Maybe this would work okay. But see, this is one problem, is they all use screen textures like this, so it's really, like, can't see anything. So I think I'm gonna have to do my own custom shader. Which might be a little tricky. We'll see. Just thinking how we would do this. Blurring is hard. I could do, like, I could manipulate individual pixels, but that's kind of not ideal. I mean, the other option is that we just make it semi-transparent, and then we just push this down below or something, right? I don't know if that's the play here, though. Right, like that. Just give it like a drop shadow. But I don't think it really fixes the issue, though, because you can still kind of see, like... It's hard to tell if this is connected to the background or not. That doesn't really work. No, I don't know how we're going to deal with this. Well, I'll look into that later. I'm sure I could figure out some kind of shader or something, you know. That's definitely a little tricky. I'll write it down, though, as something to fix. I can't type, dude. Okay. Yeah, I'll mess with that another time. It's gonna be complicated because I can't really use a screen space shader. Or I'm gonna have to do some crazy, like, weird setup for the nodes, parenting and stuff. Supplier noise texture they use for the tanks. I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't know if that would do. It's a little. I don't think that shader actually in this case would do anything. Because it's only going to run on pixels that are isolated, and none of these pixels are isolated. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a little tricky. We'll have to figure it out. Yeah, because I'd like to just do a Gaussian blur, but the problem is all of these use screen textures, right? So... Because I can, like, apply it above, but it's still going to be grabbing the screen texture at the end of the day, so it doesn't matter about depth ordering. So just offset the background color. Yeah, we could. Although I'd like to avoid doing that. Just because then it wouldn't fit in with the rest of the palette. There's got to be a way that I could do this. Just like tint these a little bit. Tintle the fish. But no. I'll figure out a way to do it. I want to be able to showcase the fish in its true form without having to mess up everything else. I could just do a drop shadow probably, or do like our outline shader around the fish and just give like the outline a very low opacity, so it kind of looks like a little bit of a shadow all around. I can actually just do that right now. I'll show you guys. Oh, but it has UI shader. Well, that's fine. I can just duplicate another icon. Paste it. Delete these nodes. Now we have this icon, and we don't apply the UI wiggle. And we do outline. Boom. Set it to white. Uses an instance uniform to turn it on. Well, I'll have to do that. I wonder if I could actually just give it a another variable called on. On uniform. So then I can say in here if on or on uniform. Just for now. Now I can do this. We can set this to black. And just give it a little bit of a low opacity outline like that. I don't really like how that looks though. It looks just kind of messy in my opinion. I can actually change the thickness, so I mean, that is a possibility. I could change it to something that's not a full pixel like that. And there is also different outline types in here. There's like the round one, like this. Again, don't really like it though. Or we just make it white. But I don't really like that either. Also make a square box around the fish, like the buttons. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad option. It's just give them another panel that they sit inside of so that I can kind of like make it all work. I might end up doing that. Yeah, I can do a thin outline like this, but then I feel like the style kind of clashes. I don't want that. Yeah, I'll figure it out another time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end stream here really soon, I think. Let's just go see if our crab caught. It still doesn't show any creatures caught, but let's like travel back and make sure. That's a little odd. I wonder what went wrong. I swear it's been more than 5 minutes. You know, fake fish are... Oh yeah, there's like the mount that they're on. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. But the outline still looks weird to me. Yeah, no, I think the outlines look weird. I want to do something else other than an outline. I want to do... Ideally, we just have a blurry, like, drop shadow. Like, that, I think, to me, would be the right... Exactly what I want. I'm sure there's a way that we could do it. I might have to do some more complicated code with, like, a sub viewport or something, but I'll figure it out. I just gotta explore my options a little bit, I think. Okay, so why is this not working, dude? I'm gonna print my remaining pot time. I mean, it is going down. Let's just, cheat a little bit. And go into process, and when I do this, I'm gonna say global dot remaining pot time minus equals delta. Why is that bad? Oh. I was just saying minus equals 1. Okay, watch this. Oh, that's only inside the aquarium, though. Just get it down to near 0. Oh, it went. So that did go, but I didn't catch any fish. So something ain't right here. Something ain't right indeed. Let me make sure that this is actually doing it. Ah. I'm just saying continue on all this stuff, so that shouldn't matter. Make sure it's just running the code. Ugh. Bro, stop. Why is it not letting me go up to the spot? Okay, so it did print that out. Also, suggestion, have the fish the chef wants, but you don't have to be in red. What do you mean? Won't have to be in red. Oh, you're saying if you don't have the fish that he wants, it like it makes the one in here like red? Is it like tinted red? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, I don't know. I'm having a brain bleed. Yeah, that would be nice. Just a little helpful, like tint fish you don't have or chef as red. Yeah, because then you actually know which fish is the one you don't have. Because right now there's kind of no way to actually tell. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. So it is running the code on that one function to add a fish to our pot. I just don't know why it still shows 2. Like, something's not right. Unless somehow it's added the same fish ID multiple times. But that's not how this works. It just has an ID that it pushes back. So, hey, welcome in. What engine version did you end up with for Starground? I usually just always use the newest multiplayer pure build. But I think I'm still kind of outdated. I know there's a new one. Godot Steam. I don't know why I'm stupid. No, that's you have to do it from Codeberg now, apparently. All right, so there is a well, let me go find the exact version I'm using. I know there's a new version now, and I probably will update everything to the new version soon. I don't think any of the changes on this one are very... Yeah, you can just opt into server relay, but that's basically it. I'm pretty sure that I'm on whatever the newest 4.5 is, so it's probably, I think, or the oldest. I think it's this one that I'm still on. 4.16.1. I don't think I've updated to 4.16.2 yet, but let me make sure. I think there's a way for me to check somewhere. I don't remember though. Actually, I can go into here, into Godot, and I am on just 4.6. It doesn't like say. Yeah, wait, aren't all these for version for Godot 4.5? I'm on Godot 4.6. Oh, that's for multiplayer pure. Ah, stupid. Okay, Godot Steam. I was confused for a minute. Sorry, my bad. Now it's all merged into one, so. So I guess I am on this one. The new 4.6 version. Trying to pour all my mods at the moment. Let's go. Yeah, it's been a while. How have you been doing? What have you been up to and stuff? But yeah, I should just be on the newest version. I do actually need to update that in the wiki and stuff. I've been sort of bad about updating that. I do kind of want to do a big... God, why am I stupid? Where's the... There it is. I do want to do a big rework of the whole modding wiki and stuff, because there's a lot more tools now to make mods. Also, at some point, I think we'll be adding in also like Steam Workshop support, which would be nice. So So let's check. What do I even have in here? I know I updated it a while ago. I think I updated the decompiling tutorial, wherever that was, right here. Because I think there's a new... Yeah, I do say now just to use Godot Steam instead of multiplayer up here because... Yeah, I'm not using this one. I am using the 4.6 one now, so... I think. I'm pretty sure that the last update was during... Can't remember. Yeah, it must be. It must have been. Then I think I updated the link on this one to the new version. Yeah. So it should be good now. Yeah, let me know if there's anything that you need help with doing that. Hopefully the modding stuff should be a lot easier now. There's a lot more things in the mod API script. I'm not... where is Starground? I don't have it open right now, but yeah, maybe one day I'll also open source Starground, and I think that'll help make it much easier to mod Starground. I mean, not necessarily open source, but I guess just making the code available. It'll still have copyright protection, but like just so you can directly modify things easier. There is also that new feature in Godot that I really want to kind of integrate into the modding process, which is the patching feature in here. Because what you can do is you can just import the whole project or add the base pack of Starground, and then just change it, and then only export the differences from the base PCK. So it's actually really nice for modding. You don't have to like remove the project from your stuff every time, because you can just put in the base PCK, and then it'll only export the things that are actually different. So definitely something to explore if anybody's doing modding stuff. I'm gonna dive into that and like figure out exactly how it works and stuff at some point. So, and then I'll probably update all the modding documentation, kind of doing this. You probably don't want delta encoding. Actually, no, you do want delta encoding, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it could be really nice. So why is this not working? Pot fish, is it because we put in the wrong like fish in here? Yeah, we'll be working more on Starground soon for sure. What's going on? Should be fine. I don't really see why anything would be going wrong in here. I'm just gonna print this out to make sure that it is working. Oh yeah, also I need to make sure if the pod is actually active. So if region ID .get active, or if it's not active, then go ahead and continue. That's another big thing. So hopefully this, I don't know why this is being odd. Stop printing the remaining time. I'm gonna restart the game just to make sure. I just don't know why it would be adding in fish. Then let's decrement the timer. And yeah, it's just not getting to that part in the code for some reason. So I wonder what's going wrong. I don't know. I know that it is running this. Is it like this or something? It just doesn't think that there's actually fish in the... Yeah, it's returning there for some reason. So it's saying that there's no hot fish here. Or no, it's only for 2 of them actually, so... that's not the real one. I'm just silly. But if I print after that, let's see what it shows. So 3 of them are going, which is the 3 on the pond, lake, and river. What if I print here? Is it getting here? Yeah, 1 of them is getting there because there's only 1 that's active inside of the pond. But it's not getting to this one, which means somehow it thinks that the size of the fish is greater than the pod limit. But I don't know how that's possible. How big is that size? And now it doesn't even want to print it. Pot data, region ID, fish, dot size. What? Why is it not printing that? Something's a little weird here. I don't know why it doesn't do anything. Pot limit. Maybe don't print size, but just fish. There's also like a big lag spike whenever it tries to print. What is wrong? Okay, let's try just printing region ID on pot data. What? I do not understand. Is it just null? Is that what's happening? Is that I didn't set up the regions initially? Like if I go back to ready, I'm pretty sure that I did it though. So I loop through for region ID and regions table. If pot data doesn't have the region, then we go ahead and say pot data at region ID is equal to that. Oh, am I still filtering output? Am I a fool? I didn't realize I was doing that. Hold on. Might have been a little bit of a silly goober. No, it's still not printing anything. That's so weird. It just doesn't print anything. I'm not filtering. What? Okay, so you have to click that button again before it like filters, I guess. Okay, that's a little silly, but whatever. Now, I don't know why though I can't seem to... I mean, what's the size on here? What? Oh, I think size is different. Is it length? Am I getting the size, like, in terms of bits right now? Is that what's happening? Well, that's gonna crash. What? No, I've always done size. I don't know why it's printing out that number. That can't be! Is it actually that big? Okay, then why is my other thing not displaying the size properly then? Let's go figure that out. So fishing region, pot button. So in ready, we call update with the current region ID. Now if it says raise pot, we do 0 out of 5. Oh, I was doing just size. I need to say .fish.size. God, I'm a fool. Okay, so we have 228,000 creatures in here. That's cool. All right. I guess we're fine now. I just was a little silly and stupid. Anyways, I gotta go eat dinner now. Yeah, that was dumb. I don't know why I didn't realize that initially. I think what happened was that since we weren't resetting the time back to the original timer, it was happening every single frame for a while, which is why it got up to 200,000. So, makes sense in hindsight. But yeah, we'll fix that. Anyways, we're gonna go raid out. Yeah, Potato Dev, if you've got any questions about modding stuff, definitely let me know. God, my computer's freezing. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming in. I do appreciate it. Let's go pick somebody to raid. I do want to see what Cole Slosky's been up to, because he's been doing the jam, and I think today's the final day of the jam, so I kind of want to raid in there and see what's going on. PC did a blip, so I'm confused and annoyed now. Oh man. Yeah, I would probably try doing a RAM test then if you haven't done that. I'm sure there's probably a bunch of different options for Linux. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming in. I also just want to say, like, Iker, I'm really sorry to hear about that. I had no idea, honestly, if you're in here. So yeah, my sincerest condolences. I really hope things turn out well. Let's go start this raid. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming in. We'll be live again on Wednesday. I think I will probably work on Starground. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget that I said that. Yeah, feel free to join the Discord. Wishlist lured in on Steam if you want. Thank you, Oshik. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go raid Cole Slosky's doing a down to jam, so we'll see. Looks like he's got way more stuff going on now, so it looks pretty epic. Actually, like, all right, bye everybody. Oh no, what? Before I raid, I want to. We're probably okay. It broke your message. Oh. What broke your message? I gotta start the raid. We got 20 seconds remaining. You can let me know in Discord if you want. Okay, bye everybody. I'll see you Wednesday. Oh, the Cobalt Wave. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good. Bye everybody. Bye-bye.